How do we know whether MECHA is connected to a network? This is a question we will answer in this video. Out of the box, MECHA functions as an access point, AP. However, if you need to ensure it's set to AP during a work session, you can press button 1 on the C1 controller when the LEDs appear as splitting lights. Similarly, on the C2 controller, press the minus button when the display shows AP+STA, A+S. In AP mode, MECHA broadcasts a SSID that includes the word MECHA in its name, allowing a smartphone to connect to it. You will easily identify MECHA's network on the list of available networks on your smartphone. Then, the MECHA User Interface can be accessed in a browser at 192.168.8.1, regardless of the controller type to which your smartphone is connected. This is MECHA's static IP address and is displayed on the configuration page. If only the static IP address is displayed here, this indicates that MECHA is in AP mode, broadcasting its own Wi-Fi network and not connected to any network. To connect MECHA to a network, click the Connect to Wi-Fi button at the bottom of this page to access the list of available networks. Then, select a network from the list and tap the Connect button. This will assign an IP address to MECHA. MECHA emits 2 beeps when it successfully completes a task. It also does so after scanning and successfully connecting to a network. You will hear 2 beeps. If a dynamic IP address is displayed on the configuration page, this also indicates that MECHA is connected to a network. MECHA is no longer in AP mode and automatically switches, temporarily during that work session, to AP+STA mode when connecting to a network. The static IP address is also displayed on the configuration page, which means the user interface can still be accessed with a smartphone. You will also hear 2 beeps at the end of the startup sequence if MECHA is in AP+STA or STA mode and the scanning task has finished successfully, when MECHA connects to a network. A good indicator of connection quality, from your smartphone to MECHA, is the current time displayed on the row page. Since MECHA doesn't have its own clock, we know the connection between the interface and MECHA is good if the time displays correctly. Let's analyze now the C1 and C2 controllers separately. On the C1 controller, at the end of the startup sequence, the LEDs display the last octet of the IP address, beginning with a dot, if MECHA has previously been connected to a network. Alternatively, you can use code 321 when MECHA is idle. As an example, if the LEDs show .100, the full IP address is 192.168.2.100. If you enter the code 321 to retrieve the last octet of the IP address, and receive 3 exclamation marks instead, it means the Wi-Fi is off. If the LEDs display 3A letters, it means MECHA operates in AP mode, and the IP address is 192.168.8.1. If either .0 or 0.0.0.0 is displayed, MECHA is not in AP mode and does not have an IP address assigned. It is in STA mode but is not connected to a network. On the C2 controller, simply select the IP address option on the OLED config menu. It displays either the MECHA's static IP address or a dynamic IP address if the MECHA is connected to a network. Alternatively, press the power button when MECHA is idle to see the IP address. Avoid pressing the power button while running a preset or in edit mode. A MECHA dual-axis combo, or MECHA DAC, consists of two motorized rotators and two C1 controllers wirelessly connected. The horizontal MECHA is also known as MECHA H, and the vertical MECHA as MECHA V. After both units are powered on, or when the power button is pressed, you will notice that MECHA H has the middle LED lit up green, and MECHA V has LEDs 2 and 4 lit up green. This indicates that the units are paired and MECHA V is connected to the Wi-Fi network of MECHA H. We demonstrated in another video how to access the configuration page of MECHA V. At the bottom of this page, there is a button that allows you to access the configuration page of MECHA H. This also confirms that MECHA V is connected to MECHA H. MECHA can also be connected to a hotspot set on your smartphone. To set up a hotspot, you usually need to access Settings, then tap Network and Internet, Hotspot and Tethering, Wi-Fi hotspot, and so on. This hotspot will assign IP addresses in the range of 192.168.43x to connected devices, for example, on Android smartphones. MECHA provides a list of available networks, which includes the hotspot you have set up. You will connect to the hotspot the same way you connect to any available network in the list, by clicking the Connect button. The IP address, the C1 LEDs, and even the time shown on the row page provide useful, and even complete information about the connection status, as we demonstrated in this video. Let's recap the most common ways of checking whether MECHA is connected to a network. 1. On C1, use code 321 to display the last octet of the IP address on the LEDs. On C2, select the IP address option on the OLED config menu, or press the power button. 2. The dynamic and static IP addresses are displayed at the bottom of the configuration page. 3. A good indicator of connection quality is the current time displayed on the row page. 4. On MECHA DAC, MECHA H has the middle LED lit up green, and MECHA V has LEDs 2 and 4 lit up green when the units are paired, MECHA V connected to MECHA H. We will discuss the C2's dedicated Wi-Fi test in another video. Thank you for watching.